Hey guys, welcome to the channel and welcome to the first video in our new playlist, stepping up your game or improving the cut or carving for intermediate carvers. I don't know. I'm working on a title still, okay? So feel free to comment below. It's kind of gonna be some intermediate chainsaw carving tutorials, but I don't want it to be that long. I don't know. Help me out. Anyway, this is what we're looking at. We're gonna be carving a bear out of here, and we're going to be carving a bear like one of these guys, a welcome bear. Okay, two-part. The sign comes off, it's separate. Now this is out of a quartered log. Okay, now you got 1, 2, 3. The fourth piece is at my carving shop back at the shop, so I don't have the fourth piece to the quartered log. Now if you're not sure how to quarter a log, get with the program. Okay, I'm just kidding. So basically what you do, you take your log, cut it into quarters, all right? 4 pieces of the pie, and that'll give you a quartered log. By doing that, we get less big cracks. We do get small checking, but hopefully the log will shrink toward the back and or shrink toward the front, I mean, and if it cracks, it'll be in the back. Okay, so as you can see, we got our pie shape here. This is the front. This is the outer edge of the log from the big log, and this is how we're going to carve. Now you guys are going to need a jaw horse today, safety shoes, chaps. I recommend gloves, ear protection, dust mask, eye protection. All right, being safe is important. I know some people brush that off, but plenty of accidents do happen. I am going to be running an MS-170 with a dime tip bar. All right, this will be for a little bit of cleanup, and I'm also going to be running an MS-250. Now I put a quarter pitch sprocket on my 250, and so we're running a 14-inch bar, quarter pitch, 43 gauge chain on the 250. Okay, we're going to be running that for blocking out, and then the dime tip bar for detail work. Now the plan for this video is to block. The process for blocking out that bear can be a little intense, and so I'm going to try to go slow and just do blocking. And in the next video, we're going to go through and just kind of go over the furring process. Third video will be power tools and cleaning them up and getting them ready for paint. And then if I don't do that all in one video, we'll have a fourth video, which will be paint, the eyes, and a finish. So if you guys haven't already, be sure to give me a thumbs up, hit subscribe, and hit subscribe, hit that bell, hit all, and turn on YouTube notifications so you guys don't miss those future uploads. And yeah, with that, as you guys can see, we got this camera here, so hopefully we're gonna have 2 camera angles. And let's start those saws and start making some sawdust.
All right, guys, so the first thing we're going to do is knock off these corners. As you can see, the saw is at an angle. We're going to go in and kind of run it right down the side. Cut that a little short, but we're going to take off these edges all the way down. We're going to do that on both sides, kind of angle it in, take that off. Now, this video is kind of long, guys. I'm trying to keep it, though, in real time without many cuts or removing segments or fast forwarding. This will give you guys a inside look as if you were in my carving yard with me and I was walking you through this together. Now see this piece here I'm pointing at? That's just from quartering the log, but let's get it out of the way. It's not useful material. It's not going to help add anything other than headaches as you're trying to shape and make both sides of the bear, you know, consistent as far as the head and the ears go. Any other things that stick off on the back of the rounded side of the log, just kind of lop those off and, you know, even it up. Now, I did not put the safety blocks on this jaw horse yet. Those are the wooden blocks, so you don't have to worry about hitting metal. If you don't have those on, I recommend you get them on first. This is my second jaw horse, the one at my carving yard. The one at my shop, I have those on, and I just haven't made a set for this yet. I need to get that done, though. So what I'm doing is going about 3/4 of an inch to an inch higher than the metal. That way there, I cut down to that and I don't hit the metal. So, you know, you've got a 3/4 inch or 1 inch buffer between what you're carving and the top of the metal. Now I'm kind of doing is defining how wide the bear will be at the bottom in according to the edge in those lines. That's what those cuts were. So now we're going to talk about the ears. I'm sorry for a little bit here. The angle with the saw right in front of us kind of stinks. But we're going to kind of come in and cut the back of the head and the back of the ears. You can see the angle of the saw. in relation to the bear being straight up and down. So we kind of cut those, round it off. Now we're coming into what looks like the front of the ear. All right, as you can see, the saw is fairly horizontal. As it comes in and we pull down, we kind of pull away. This will round the side of the head. Then we move over to the other side. We're kind of going to cut down for the face of that ear and the side of the head. Again, cut down about inch and a half, you know, like the cut down as far as the bar is tall. As you come down, pull away. Now we're cutting the inside of the ear. A lot of this is self-explanatory. All right, so these are the insides of the ear. As you can see on the left, I'm angling the saw kind of up to go up to those lines. Try to pop that out. Try not to overcut into your ears, okay? While we're back here, we're gonna keep going through and kind of, it's a plunge cut, all right? We're gonna remove some more material on the side of the ears, but that cut I just made is gonna help us remove material on top of the head later on. Just doing some minor shaping for a little overcut. If you get a little overcut, don't even stress about it. Use the nose of the bar, kind of scrape, or that sanding method. Just do that little bit of shaping. While I'm back here, While I'm back here, I'm angling in just below the ears. You can kind of see there on the right, the ears kind of angled in, right? So now we start working our way to the front. We want to remove that material in front of the ear, so it's an angle. As we're making cuts, everything is pretty much at this point a triangle or a wedge shape. Right, that's still like basic carving stuff as far as bears go, triangles and wedges. Now I know a lot of my videos are on bears. That's because bears sell. Bears are what pay the bills. You get into other things, I just don't sell as many of them. Now the goal for this video, guys, honestly, one, to help you, do something a little more detailed, but two, hopefully you'll be able to take a log that's about 22 inches across and about 24 inches tall, turn it into 4 bears, and have that log make you anywhere from $800 to $1,000. That's pretty darn good. Hopefully you can get to a point where you could sell these bears for about $200 to $250. When you're first starting out, if you got to sell this bear for $100 or $150, that's fine. You got to work yourself up to, the detail work and those sorts of things. So here I was rounding the top of the head in front of the ears, just starting to kind of shape it a little bit more. Kind of self-explanatory, I think, right? Something to remember when you're trying to step the game up is like bears are not square and blocky. A lot of beginners do not round the corners in front of the ears. You guys just make the ears tall and make the top of the head flat and then the sides of the head straight down or a little bit of an angle. We have to round those things though. That's what really starts to bring your bear to life, is rounding your edges. So you see how I'm working the saw? This isn't the dime tip bar. We're using that regular bar. If you go slow, you can manipulate the saw to make angles. It's important. A little bit of practice. Here we're going to cut all the way through. We're going to meet the lower portion of that first line below the ear. As you can see, revealing the ear. Same thing here, cutting in. Right, see the angle I was able to make? The saw wasn't all the way through though. So you go in, you're cutting off probably like 1/2 inch to 1 inch. Cut down, still doesn't drop, that's fine. You go in, cut down, you're working the saw back and forth so you can make that angled cut. Now, as you do this, what this does on both sides, that kind of swooping angle, is kind of defining where the neck is, and the shoulders and lower part of the shoulders are going to begin. We're just shaping our ears back. They can be big and tall ears, but like the back side of the ear should be angled back. So when you look at the bear, the front part of the ear that you see when looking at the bear head on should be taller than the back side of the ear. If the back side is taller, your bear doesn't look right when you're looking at it. It should be angled back. All right, now we're just shaping around, removing any, same thing when you look at the bear like this. If the back part of that neck sticks out farther than the front part of the neck, go and kind of cut that piece off. Hopefully this makes sense, guys. Now we have some more fine cuts in front of the ear, right? A little bit of material removing from rounding the side of the head. All right, so we're making angled cuts and we're thinking round round features, okay? They're the best that we can to have features somewhat rounded. Now, I don't expect you guys to have bears that look just like mine. This is sort of just giving you like a baseline, right? If your goal is to create bears just like mine, I mean, that's cool, but it's just not very artistic, right? You got to make a name for yourself. So you try a few of these, you make them just like mine, awesome. Then work on tweaking it. All right, give your bears different expressions, different pose, things like that. The biggest thing with this right here, in all honesty, is giving you the confidence to do something different. All right, rather than just these straight bears standing up with their arms down to their sides. Sometimes you just have to think outside the box and try new things. So here we're angling the saw. We got a pretty drastic angle there. Coming down, this will be the front of the face where the eyes will be. And here the saw is angled back and down. So I'm angling down just a little. I mean, just a little. All right. Now, this isn't like a drawn piece. I'm not referencing anybody else's work. But if you have bear references up, it will help you get your bears that much, better. Because you can continue to look at the picture and look at the piece you want to carve, or the face of the bear you want to carve. Reference photos really, really are important, and there's definitely projects where I use them a lot. All right, so I'm kind of just looking and assessing my piece. We're going to go ahead and take the front of that nose area off because it doesn't come to a triangle, right? So with the size of this carving and bear, there's probably, that's probably about 3 inches off the face where the front of the nose will be. So you can see we got some different angles going on here. Angling away, that's straight up and down, angling away, and then angling the tip of the bar. Cut in till you get level with the face. You can see it a little better on the left. Now I like to kind of cut down to hit close to center of the bottom of the nose area. Make it cut in. All right. Kind of going slow so you guys can see the lines. Now we're trying to make that same angle and same depth here on the other side, which is tough, right? Because the way you hold the saw. Come in, remove that little piece. Kind of doing a little bit of a rounding shaping method. Go in, try not to cut the bottom of the head, but I'm gonna remove this piece. It's okay to make small cuts and have to go back and do a bunch of trimming. That's what ends up taking forever until you do a ton of them. In this case, I'm just going slow, right? Showing you guys, you make a bunch of cuts. Just keep coming back, working the piece. Same thing here. Just removing that material under the neck, under the head area. Alright, so now we've revealed the lower portion of the head, lower portion of the jaw for now, because that's going to change. Now we come in from the side. We're just kissing where the side of the cheek will be, just till we touch that line we created for the side of the snout. Now if you're going slow here, the saw's not wide open, you can almost feel your cut line. If you miss it, come from the other side. Boom, you pop it off. Very minimal overcut right there. So that's where you take your time. You got a lot of overcut. Now you got this line down the center of the face next to the snout, and you got to figure out, what am I going to do with this? Am I going to continue to shape? Am I going to fill it with glue and sawdust? Oh, that's a waste of time, right? So it's just practicing, getting to the line. If you have to, work the saw back and forth just a little bit, in and out, pop through. You'll feel the cut. All right, feel it out. Round things over as you go. I figure if you're learning, you're having fun, right? You're enjoying this video, make sure to like it. All right, guys, leave me a comment. Let me know what you think at the end after you've watched it. Be sure to hit subscribe, too, if you haven't already, right? We're trying to grow this channel. I'd love to see 30,000 subscribers by the end of this year. We are creeping up on 17,000 subscribers, so somehow I got to get 13,000 subscribers in a year. I'm starting to doubt myself that I can do it, but you guys liking, commenting, leaving good feedback Again, making sure to hit like on a video. Watching these videos, it does help the channel grow immensely, believe it or not. Okay, so there's our basic look. Hopefully you have something similar going on at this point. And if not, it's okay. It takes practice, right? It takes practice. So what I'm pointing out here is the arm and the shoulder. I want to bring this down and get rid of that pointy part just a little bit. I'm going to leave some though, you know, just for looks, just for the material sake of it. And take our Dixon wood crayon, bring that up and over. Kind of just defining that arm with a crayon. We don't have to be exact, right? We're just getting ourselves that rough shape, so we have a general idea of like material to leave and material to remove. Just gonna knock down the hard edge there, or the corner. Swooping in a little bit. It's like the forearm will undercut the bicep just a little. Right, just meeting our line, trying not to make big overcuts. So we're not going in here all crazy and just, you know, hacking away. We're taking our time, thinking about our cuts, right? Visualizing in our mind what it is we're trying to do, slowing the process down, rounding things over. Okay, come into this line, angle away just a little. It widens the arm for you. If you make a straight cut down, it's very straight. Now you have a hard edge to remove. If you angle it away, it helps round the piece right off the bat. Those were fairly shallow cuts for the end of the paw. Again, angling down, kind of following that line with an angle down and in. Same with the back, a little bit of an angle. Then we'll come from the side, start removing to that line, right? So the arm's kind of defined now. Remove the piece under the arm. Really makes the arm stand out, look more three-dimensional. Okay, so now there's the paw that'll rest on top of the sign. But we got to get rid of this material under the paw, because that's where the sign's got to slide in. So we don't want to cut the paw, so you got to go just below it. You got to plunge cut through, check, work up, right? You can see it on both sides here. Go down. Roughly 4 inches, give or take. We're eyeballing, right? We're not getting exact here. Getting about 1 inch wide. Plunge cut, angle it down as you plunge cut just a little so you miss the other side of the paw. And as you come up, look and see what you're doing. All right, so that piece we just created in there, now we got to remove it. We're going to cut the bottom side of the paw, which should release the top of that chunk. Now we're not going to cut that triangle off all the way. We're coming up about 1 inch. No, not 1 inch. I'm sorry, about 1/2 inch from the line. See how we're just above, how that line went all the way down? Now that strip in there we just made, we got to get rid of that. Right there on the top and the bottom. So I do some angles here. Get rid of the majority of it. And then you can get in, make some different cuts, work the saw back and forth a little bit. Kind of clean that space up. Don't leave it all jagged and rough. Clean it up, make it look nice. Remember, the goal is to try and get at least $200, $250 if we're doing all this work, spending all this time, and we're trying to, you know, step up our game from a piece that's worth $100 to a piece that's worth $200 or $250. So keep that in mind if you're looking to sell, right? You got to put the time in if you want to get the reward. Otherwise, you know, they're just quick carves, so you get quick prices. Now be careful here. As you saw, I had a little bit of kickback. You might too. I'm going to clip off the front of the post that'll be holding the sign, so it gives us a little bit of a square front. That's it. That's the post. That's where your sign goes. Kind of just pointing that out for you guys. Now I have to talk about defining the next arm and get into removing some more material. Now, I know it's a lot of talking, right? And the video is very long, but like I said, I'm trying not to cut anything out. I'm trying to go over everything in great detail for you guys. I'm trying to help you guys step it up a little bit. I know. Like I said before, I had a guy comment, these carvings don't look like they're stepped up. They look like a step down, which is fine, you know. It is what it is. I'm gonna upcut, remove that. So boom, there's an arm that just popped out, right? Rounding off those back edges a little bit, so when you look at the bear straight on or from the sides, he looks great. That's the plan. So that's an arm, and this arm is just kind of gonna hang down the side and to the front of the bear. So right here, we're cutting down the front of the bicep area, so sort of rounding it in, but we're also plunge cutting in. Multiple little shallow rounded cuts there. Now this right here is going to be the top of the forearm. So I'm actually angling up and cutting up in, okay? Careful of kickback. This is why it's important to make sure your saw is in proper working order, that chain brake works, okay? Because you can get kickback at any time. Broken chain brake means you get cut. A lot of it is about safety and being safe while you're doing these things and trying out these new things, right? You're not exactly sure what's going to happen. There might be some nervousness here, but grip your saw like it's yours. Own it, right? Be prepared. Now we're just going to remove to the line. We're going in and out, popping in, out, just feeling the cut line that I created for that bicep. Okay, boom, that arm's revealed. So now we got to go in and talk about removing the material between the two arms. These are just some shallow angle cuts. We're just making some short, shallow cuts. So as you pop through the line, little pieces will fall off. You can attempt to do it in one big swing if you want. That's fine. I prefer to do some smaller cuts. I think it makes life a little bit easier and you have less room for bigger mistakes. Smaller cuts, smaller mistakes, bigger cuts, bigger mistakes. Until you get really comfortable with a design where you can just, you know, right? You do 100 of these, you don't need to make small cuts. You'll be able to get right in there and block out big chunks and keep it moving and probably carve these bears up in about 15 minutes. Block them, right? You'll be able to block this bear out in like 15 minutes once you get your cuts down and you know what you're doing. So again, removing more material, or revealing the side of the arm and the chest area. Because we're not just like, going willy-nilly. We're trying to get as much detail out of this piece as we can. Well, I say as much, to a point, because we're not going to detail the back super crazy, but the front of it we are trying to. Small cuts, right? Cutting up to the arm and the paw there. Sorry, some of these camera angles aren't as good as I'd hoped. So this piece here, we need to cut down a little bit, and we're going to have to do an upcut, which is going to help reveal the top side of the bear's belly. And it's angled, it's not straight. The saw is angled back, and we're going up, so it rounds. So it's kind of rounded on the right side of the picture there. You can kind of see rounded look. So now plunge in. I can give you depths and things like that, but it really depends on how big your piece is, But I mean, I'm going in about an inch probably with the nose here and all the way down to my cut line that we did for the bottom. Boom. That's the post the sign's going to sit on. Now we're going to cut to that post line. We're going to come straight down and bring it down, bring it down, bring it down. Trying to remove that corner piece in there, okay? Boom. So now come to the other side. Basically do the same thing. Cutting in a little bit here. But that's all right. You kind of gotta just feel the piece out as you go. You might do it a little bit differently. You're looking at it. This is where when you're looking at your piece, you gotta make a judgment call, right? Because every piece is not going to be exact. A lot of this is sort of like, here's the guidelines to get you started. Now feel it out as you carve, right? Feel it out. What I'm doing right here is defining the bottom side of the belly. So you're able to like get the concept of where the legs and the thighs going to be as they come down. That's what those two lines just were. Here I'm just making a little bit more of a rounded shape for the hips and the leg. I don't even know what I'm pointing at there, but probably, hey, round your piece, right? Look it over, clip off your edges, round things. A lot of beginner carvings I see very, very blocky. right? Very hard edges, very ovally shaping when things should be more of a rounded shape, or smushed, or drawn out, or very flat. You want things to look as three-dimensional with depth as you possibly can. Like, that's the goal, right? How much depth can we get out of this piece when you're looking at it? We don't want a flat looking piece, especially the side that's, meant to be looked at. So now I'm just using the nose of the bar and just kind of scraping, sanding, shaping. It's sort of what we're doing here, removing excess material to make our lines and our shape look the way we want. Now we're going to come in here from the side, do a little bit of an upcut, remove that wedge, boom. That just revealed our leg. Angled in and down, but not all the way down, just to the top of where you want the top of the foot to be. Little upcut, boom, wedge gone. So there's the top of our foot, and our leg are revealed for the most part, right? That part, pretty basic. We're not doing claws and all that stuff. We're putting more detail into our shape at the moment, and then our furring process in our eyes, okay? If we want to try to get into more detailed video as far as claws, we'll do a different carving, and we'll try to take a more in-depth look into claws and paws. Also, if you're here this far, really awesome, thank you, because this video is long. I appreciate you watching for the full length. Just want to put out there for my members, we're going to work on doing a custom carving tutorial for members here over the next couple weeks. I'm going to try to get that video together. And regardless to what tier you are as a member, I want to make it available for all my members who are, contributing to the channel directly, because I appreciate you guys, and supporting my work and the videos I make with a direct commitment. Now, with that, YouTube takes a portion of that money. So I have also created a PayPal link that's in the description of every video. So if you wanted to contribute to the channel, you could always, send something through that if that's your thing and that's something you want to do. If not, no pressure, guys, for real. Like, I enjoy creating the videos, but I know in the past people have asked about this. People have wanted to send me money, for a coffee or for chainsaw parts or things like that, which is always greatly appreciated, but I don't ask for it. You know what I mean? I'm just making and creating opportunities for those of you that are really thankful and want to contribute to the channel. That's all. So we're looking up here at the neck. Now that we've got our basic shapes for our legs done, we got to look at that upper neck / chest. We know a lot of chest work to do, is the way that arm comes up blocks it, but we're making upcuts to any overcuts. So when we did the bottom of the neck, right, in the chin area, we may have made some overcuts. We cut into the bear too far, so that's where you would make upcuts. Clean those up first. Then you move on to doing this right here. And what I'm doing is, it's not straight lines, we're at an angle. If you see the saw on the left, down, nose of the bar up, and we're angled up in. This is going to help you get a very layered look in the neck, okay? Rather than just having this flat fur pattern on the neck, this is going to give that bear a lot more depth. And this process right here can be applied basically to any bear you're doing. I have a couple different techniques that I do this and a couple different tools I do it with, but right now I'm just keeping it very basic with this chainsaw. If you guys want to have a video just on like creating neck fur with dimension and with depth, not dimension, but with depth, let me know, and I'll work on putting something like that together for this playlist, which I think we're gonna call it improving your cut. Improving the cut. I don't want to say perfecting the cut, because I'm not perfect, and that people tend to think like I get all cocky about that, but I'm not. I know where my work is. It is not the best of the best. A lot of people love it, and I appreciate that, but this is not where, I'm not even where I want to be carving. I want to be better than this, Like I've said in other tutorial videos, it's like constant improvement. If you're not improving, you're stagnant, right? And I want to improve. So here we go, top of the nose, right? We angled that in, kind of defining where the nose is going to be. Here we're making a couple angle cuts. It's in and down and kind of away. So there's 3 angles going on there. Here we're down and away from the nose, but stopping short, as you can see. Do an upcut, remove that material. come in from the sides and remove that wedge there. Right, boom, snout revealed. Oh yeah, don't forget that little piece tail. Boom, snout revealed. I like it. Got some pretty good shaping going on. It's looking pretty darn good, but let's look up at those eyes. So I had seen another carver, Cody, goes in and he kind of cleans this area up around that line I created, and I liked the way that effect gave me, or gives him, more material to work with, and it kind of makes the eyes stand out a little bit more, so they're not just this flat eye pushed into the face of the bear. It kind of brings the eye out a little bit with the eyebrow and the material around the eye, and so that's what we drew on. And we're going to kind of try not to hit the line or just barely hit the outline. And we're just, as you can see, using the tip of the bar and scraping around. I don't want to make cuts here because I want this to be a smooth transition from around the eye into the sides or the top or the forehead of the bear. And if we were to cut this out, it's just going to be more work later. So if we learn how to use the nose of the bar, right, and we're just scraping it around, you can see the depth there a little bit. It's kind of concave.
You guys still with me? All right, so we got our bear blocked out. Okay. We'll worry about our sign later, but here we're talking about a 4-inch gap. All right, it's about 1 inch wide so that a sign can go in. We always can get a board that's a little bit too big and make it fit for the spot we carved. All right, going around looking at our bear. Now, to me, this is the kind of bear that's best backed up against the wall in a corner, that sort of thing. Why? All our detail work is here. All our main detail work is here. We walk around our bear, and he's pretty flat. This log wasn't huge, right? This log was probably 22 inches across, and we carved 24 inch tall. So you're talking a 24 inch tall, 20 to 22 inch across log that hopefully can produce you $800 to $1,000 out of that chunk of wood, right? Because I can't remember if I mentioned it or not here, but the goal is to create a bear here that we could sell for, you know, $250 a bear, and 4 bears out of 1 log. That's the plan. You may get more for them, you may get less. Keep in mind, if you start at $250 and they get better, it might be harder to command a higher price when they start looking, you know, even more better. So, you know, if you were to just get going and you sold these bears for 150 bucks, you're making money, you know. Anyway, the back is pretty plain. We will do furring here in the next video. That is the plan. Next video, we're going to do furring, and I'm going to try to take it slow and do some detail work. I mean, so we blocked this guy out in what, about 20 minutes? Not too bad. You get doing a bunch, you can do them a lot quicker. I mean, I did these guys earlier, and then this guy, and now I'm filming, so, you know, it takes me longer. But not bad. Hopefully you guys are getting something like this going. Like I said, make sure you guys have given me a thumbs up, leave me a comment, let me know what you think of the video so far. In the next video, we'll be using the dime tip bar, and we'll be doing as much detail work as we can with that saw. All right. If you guys do the thumbs up, hit subscribe, hit that bell, hit all, make sure YouTube notifications are on so you guys don't miss my uploads. Okay. We have a good percentage of people that have those notifications on, and people get those alerts, but there's still quite a few of you that haven't done that, so you guys may be missing uploads and tutorial videos. Okay, so turn those things on and don't miss any future uploads. I really hope you guys enjoy this series. I'm still looking for good titles for that playlist, you know, intermediate carvers, tutorials, intermediate carving tutorials, stepping up your game. I'm kind of, I think I said it earlier, I don't remember, but I was kind of leaning toward like improving the cut or improving your cut, something like that. I don't know. I do hope you guys are enjoying this series, and keep an eye out for that next video. Hope you guys have an awesome day. Stay safe and have fun.